If you ask most AutoCAD users what their favorite command is, undo is usually the answer. That's because we all make mistakes, and when we do, the undo command will let us put things back the way they were. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use the undo command. On my screen, I have a mechanical drawing. This line work represents a gasket. And in order to demonstrate undo, I first have to do something. So I'm going to make a design change to this geometry. Currently, this geometry has two tabs, and the tabs are skewed 15 degrees. Let's say I'd like these tabs to be in perfect alignment. So I'm going to rotate some of this geometry. I'll move up and launch the rotate command, and I'm going to select this line and this arc. This line, I'll select this circle. I'll select the geometry for this slot, and I'll select my center line. Then I'll right-click. I would like to rotate this geometry around the center of this circle. And normally I would rotate this 15 degrees to put these guys into a straight alignment. But remember, we're talking about undo. So I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to rotate this geometry 115 degrees. And I'll hit enter. And this is obviously wrong. That's all right. I can fix it by using the undo command. Undo is located here in the quick access toolbar. It looks like a backward facing arrow. Now before I click this, notice there's also a forward facing arrow, and it happens to be grayed out right now. We'll talk about this command in just a second. I'm going to click undo, and notice that AutoCAD backs me up a single command. Also notice that the forward facing arrow is now available. This icon represents the redo command. Redo will reverse the effect of an undo. If I click this, AutoCAD will put the geometry back to the previous position. Now I don't want to do this, so I'm going to move up and click undo one more time. Let me give you an important tip when using redo. The redo command can only follow an undo. Notice the icon is still available right here, but if I so much as pan my screen, I lose the ability to do a redo. All right, I'd like to go ahead and make that design change again, except this time we'll do it correctly. I'll launch my rotate command, and I will reselect this geometry. Then I'll right-click. I'd like to rotate the geometry around the center of this circle, and I'd like to rotate it 15 degrees. Now at this point, since this is a straight line, I really don't need this dimension anymore, so I'm going to erase it. I'll launch the erase command, select the dimension, and then I'll hit enter. Now I've obviously got some gaps and I've got some overlapping line work. I'm going to clean this up using trim and extend. I'll start by launching the extend command, and I'll select this line and this line as my boundary edges, and I'll right-click, and I'll extend this arc and this arc, and then I'll hit escape. Then I'll move up and launch the trim command. I'll select this line and this line as my cutting edges, and I'll right-click, and I'd like to trim off this arc and this one. When I'm finished, I'll hit escape. Now, after making these changes, what if we were given the direction to put this part back the way it was? Well, I could move up and click undo, 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 undo to put this thing back. Or, notice there's a flyout right next to the undo icon. If I click this, it brings up a menu that allows me to back up several commands in one step. Here's the trims that I just did. Here's the extends. Here's where I erased the dimension. And here's where I rotated my geometry. I'd like to take away all of these commands all the way back through rotate. So I'll select rotate from the menu, and notice my geometry is restored to the previous state. The undo command is a lot like an insurance policy. No matter what we may do to our drawing, we can always restore our geometry by using the undo command.